Ooh. Why is that like that? Hold on. Good morning, everybody. We've got some technical difficulties here. But we're going to fix that right quick. If I can just go to properties, that would be wonderful. Now, why? Why is that? Oh, I know why it's doing that. Hold on. I have to actually change it on my phone. The things that happen. Let's actually go to the resolution we want, shall we? And then there we go. All right. Now we just have to resize. You guys are seeing how the magic is made. Okay, we'll cut that all out once we do the VOD. All right. We're back to the size it was supposed to be. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Soul Commodore here. And we're hold on. There. Now we're not going to be all echoey. I caught it this time. The start of the stream is a mess, but that's okay. Basically, my audio settings were from the gaming stream that I did the other day. So now we're all good. Alright, welcome back, everybody. Today we are very likely going to, if we don't finish this piece, we're going to start the process of finishing the piece. There are a few things that I want to change with some of these clouds, but in general, we're pretty close to being done with this piece. Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I don't know about you all, but I'm feeling very good about it. So let me just turn down this music a little bit, and then we will get started. There we go. Okay. And just bring this up. Like with every stream, the most important part for painting is your actual paint. So we're going to get our palette together. Now today, once we finish the clouds, we are actually, believe it or not, going to be using some colors other than red, blue, and white. I know it's amazing to think about. Okay. Got this one off without having to bite it. That's awesome. Okay, so we got red paint there. But how's this Sunday treating everybody? I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that, well, I guess it's Monday for some of you. In which case, I hope that your night is going well. But everyone else, I hope that you're excited for the day. That you've got some fun stuff going on. Okay, I'm gonna have to use this key for this tube of white paint because it's almost at its end. I think I might have to go on a paint run before the next stream. So, like I said before, you just attach it to the bottom, and then you just roll up, and then out comes the paint. Very handy. There's still some more in there. That tube's not to the end of its life cycle yet. This one just about is though. I'm gonna need some more. I'm gonna need some more red. I'm gonna need some more white. I'm gonna need some more blue. All I have left is black and yellow. Like in a good quantity. But even then, I might get some more black because I'm sure the next painting is gonna be nice and dark. We don't have much blue left at all, so we gotta make it count. Okay, so that's all taken care of. So now we'll grab our brush and our rag to actually clean the brush. That's not the brush that we want, actually. We want the round brush. Where is that at? It's nice having a lot of brushes, but it's also sometimes a pain because you don't know where things are at. There we go. But yeah, for anybody who joined the stream yesterday, I hope you had a fun time. That was pretty fun for me, even though I played Super Mario Bros. 3 pretty poorly because I'm out of practice. It is my favorite game of all time, but I haven't played it in a while, and playing it on the Switch, I mean, the controller's a little different. I still shouldn't have played that badly. But it was a fun experience. We had fun, and that's the whole point to it, right? Okay, so one of the main areas that I want to take care of is this right here. This cloud comes up here very nicely, but the fact that this edge, it kind of clashes with this edge here. Like, I want to bring this edge down this way a little bit more so that this cloud is clearly in the foreground and it's not competing with this one. Now in nature, of course you would get a cloud formation like this, but sometimes you have to take a few creative liberties to make something look better, even if it is perfectly realistic. So, but first, before I do that, I'm just going to test this light, because I got a new light. Yeah, I like that light there. There we go. I'm also going to get this fuzzy off of my back. There we go. Alright. So grab some red, a little bit of white, and a tiny bit of blue. Oop. Need more white. Come down here, and we're going to take out the white paint that we had there. Okay. Try blending this in a little bit better. It's a pretty shoddy performance. So I know on the last art stream we started talking about sports a little bit. It's so weird that this is week 18 of the NFL season. Still doesn't seem I don't want to say that it doesn't seem right, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter in the long run, but it does seem kind of cynically depressing that nobody, the players, the coaches, fans by and large, nobody wanted an 18-week season in the NFL, except for the higher-ups. And of course the higher-ups got what they wanted. With all these leagues, man, it's always such a... Because I love the sport, but it's always the leagues, like the brass at the top, making the decisions that always kind of... I don't know. Just kind of ruins the experience every once and again. Sort of like when the NFL, like the players were kneeling for Black Lives Matters, and they were like, listen, we agree that you should be able to express your opinions, but we have shareholders to think about, so if you're going to kneel, just stay in the locker room, you know, so that no one can actually see your protest. It's like, excuse me? I don't think so. Okay, we're almost done blending this area in. We're almost there. And then we can actually start redirecting the edge of this cloud. Yeah, it's one of those things where, I don't know, it's disappointing because, like I said, I love the sport, but the business practices I could do without. The corporate side of it, I should say, I could do without. But, I mean, it's always going to be there, so. Okay, so we got that all blended in. It's not blended quite the way I want it, but from a distance, it's fine. It'll just look like another cloud, like a small cloud in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and redirect this cloud down this way so that it doesn't conflict with the edge of this cloud here. So we'll get more paint off the brush, and then we'll just kind of blend this out. Just like we've been doing. Just like so. And what I am going to do actually is I'm going to define this edge a little bit more, make it a little bit darker. Just so we know that it's a cloud edge. Okay, maybe not that dark. Painting is nothing but just a series of adjustments that you make to a certain area that you're working on. That's all painting is, really. There we go. That's a bit better. We'll even have a few remnants of that over here to kind of cover up some of the work we did there. Yeah, that looks good, I think. Now, of course, it may not look good, and I'm just biased because I'm standing right next to it, but I think it looks pretty good. Actually, we're going to lighten that up just a bit. I went a little bit darker than I wanted to for some of that. There we go. That's better. So now we've redirected that cloud so that it's clearly coming down behind this cloud here instead of competing with it. So I think that looks good. So now I'm just going to sit back and see if there's anything else that we can improve on this piece. Just going to take a step back, take a look. Anything else that we want to work out? Now this is going to be part of the series that I've been doing where you know, reality is deconstructing and it's abstracted, but I'm actually not going to do much abstraction to these clouds, if at all. Like, I might not actually do any abstraction to these clouds. The abstraction is going to come with what's going to be right here in this area. But we'll get to that in a minute. Right now, again, I'm just sort of scanning the piece, which, let me try to get more of the piece in the shot. Okay, we're not going to get down. Well, if the camera stays there, that's better, actually. It's so hard trying to fit a 6x4 canvas in the shot of the frame. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything that I really want to change too much, so that's a good sign. That is a good sign. So I think we're good to start on our set piece that's actually going to be in this here. Yeah. Okay. So let me just bring up the reference image that I'll be using. So what are y'all's plans for the remainder of your weekend? I guess I should back up so that my face is in the shot. But yeah, I'm interested in what y'all's plans are. Okay. Now, I am using a reference image here that I didn't take, and it's only because what we're going to be painting here is a plane. And I personally cannot fly, so I have no idea what a plane looks like up close. I haven't taken a picture of a plane up close, you know, because I can't fly. So we're just going to find a nice picture of a plane flying out of the clouds. And then we're going to sketch out the plane, and then we're going to paint it. And the plane is what's going to be abstracted. That's the decision that I've made. Okay. Let's open that image in a new tab. And then we are going to grab our white charcoal pencil. Even though this area is mostly white, we are going to grab that. We're just going to sketch out this plane. Okay. So, I'm just going to get the basic shape of it. Planes are a marvel of modern technology, but man, are they goofy looking. Planes are goofy looking. Okay. It's a little bit bigger than what I want it to be. But yeah, as I said, I like to try to use reference images that I've taken myself. But in this case, I've never taken a picture of a plane up close, so I have zero frame of reference for that. So I have to use Google Images and use someone else's plane. Well, image of a plane. And it's not going to be an exact copy or anything like that. Okay. Actually, I think the fuselage should be a little bit longer. That's a fun word, fuselage. Okay, so that's pretty much the body of the plane taken care of. Now we just need the wings. Which are going to start right about here. And come up and cut through the bottom of the tail and extend out to about here. Yeah. And this engine kind of matches up with the bottom edge of this engine matches up with the bottom edge of the fuselage. So we got that in there. Let me just come along a little bit. Actually, I might have drawn that in the wrong place. Thankfully, we have our eraser here. can just erase that out and try again. Okay, so the first engine is more like here, I guess. And the second one is more up here. So let's throw those in. Like so. Okay. And then we got to throw in, you're not going to see most of the wing, but you are going to see the bottom edge of one of the engines on this side of the plane, right there. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's start kind of filling this in. Yo, Zell, what's happening? What's happening? I am back with a brand new painting stream. But welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sorry if you commented a while ago. I was looking at a reference image for this plane that we're painting in here, that I'm just realizing now you can't really see on the camera, but that's all right. But how are you doing today, sir? Oh, you just got here? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Honestly, that's one of the hardest things to do. So I applaud you. No. I think you're Alice. I think you're Alice. I think you said exactly what you meant. But no, that's fair, man. Yeah, convincing yourself not to be lazy is one of the hardest things in human existence. So I get that. There we go. So get some black paint on here. We don't need a lot. We're finally using a color other than white, black, or white, blue, and red. I might actually throw some yellow in here too. Don't applaud yet. I'm not doing anything yet. But don't you know, Zell? I am a chronic premature applauder. It's kind of a problem. So it's a little too late. So we're gonna add some black, white, and yellow to this. Make a nice yellowish gray. Nah, you're not getting banned for that. You have to do a lot worse than that. To get a ban on this channel, you have to come after my gaming skills, which were abundant yesterday. Alright, let's, we're basically just going to paint in the body of this plane. And we'll focus on the details later. Right now I just want to get the body in the basic shape. Ooh, okay, see, now that's band worthy. But I'm in a good mood today, so. The fun thing about blocking in color like this is you don't have to be exact, because we're going to come back and refine all of this later on. So you can be as messy or as clean as you want. Especially because we're going to have to get the lighting on this plane right as we go. But for now, just blocking in some color. Just making sure that there's something occupying this space. That's the important thing. I wonder if this would be a little easy. No. I was about to say maybe this would be easier if I had a larger brush, but no. This smaller, fine brush will be fine. Alright. We'll just come up the wing here. And as it tapers off, and yeah, we'll clean up that edge there once we get more into it. But for now, like I said, I'm not too concerned with details. That's fair, man. You know, getting stuff at the store is important. So I appreciate the lurk. When you confirm the lurk, I'll sing the song. Or I'll just sing it now anyway. I always feel like somebody's watching me. But I appreciate the lurk. I appreciate you coming in, man. And good luck at the store. I hope they have what you need. There are a lot of things worse than this, but it's still pretty aggravating. When you go to the store, and you're especially the grocery store, and you're really jonesing for like a certain, you know, food or drink or what have you, and then you get there and they're all sold out. The other day, like, I went to the store and I was really wanting some Ritz Bits peanut butter sandwiches, like the crackers, and lo and behold, they had none. And in the moment, I was so disappointed that they didn't have any. that it didn't even occur to me to just buy regular Ritz crackers because we have peanut butter and I could just make some of my own. So I bought cheese bits instead, which are good, but not as good. They're tasty, but not as tasty. Okay. So, I'm not too concerned again with color or shading right now because we're just blocking this in. But I will note that I did make the tail a little bit darker, this upper edge a little bit darker, and I'm going to make the engines a little bit darker, just to help differentiate when we actually go in and start laying in the colors that we need. But like I said, this is more or less just like a little base layer. That's just going to help us make some decisions later on. So right now we're just blocking in the engines. I don't know if any of you have been on a plane, but or if you're like regular air travelers. But my first time ever on a plane, I went to go visit a friend of, well, I went to go visit Jake from the Woods in Britain. And I had never been on a plane before. And I'm not a huge fan of roller coasters. And by I'm not a huge fan, I mean I am not a fan at all. I don't have a problem with speed, and I don't have a problem with heights. What I do have a problem with is speed plus height plus not being in control. Like, if I was driving a roller coaster, if that's how roller coasters work, where you actually drive it, like, I'm okay. Sort of like I don't really like Gravitrons or like the spinny rides where there's one at Canada's Wonderland where it spins itself, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the spinny rides where like the strawberries, right, where you spin it yourself, right? Because there's some semblance of control there, even though really it's physics, so you don't really have any control over physics. But with roller coasters, like, you're just at the mercy of physics and gravity, and I don't like it. Makes me uneasy. So I'm not a fan of roller coasters, and I suppose I should have put two and two together. But it didn't occur to me that when a plane takes off, it's basically like a roller coaster in reverse. Like, you're just going up very fast instead of down. So I panicked a little bit. I didn't have like a panic attack or anything. Like, but internally I was freaking out a little bit. And then I looked at the flight attendant, and I know flight attendants are trained to not show if anything's wrong, right? Like, they actually trained them to not, like, show if anything's wrong. But she was sitting there, and one, she looked cool as a cucumber, and two, she kind of looked like one of my aunts. So that gave me some comfort. It's like, okay, well, she's not freaking out, so this is what's supposed to be happening. And then when we got up in the air, we started banking because we had to turn, and I wasn't used to that either. But the second time around, coming back from Britain, now that I knew what to expect with the takeoff was fine. It was actually kind of fun. I saw like a little girl on the plane, and she looked a little nervous, and I was like, ooh, you're going to have fun with it, what's about to happen. And you know what? She actually took it like a champ. She thought it was cool. I will say that the food on the plane on the way to Britain was much better than the food on the way back. The food on the way back was it was like a sandwich, like a meat sandwich of some kind, and it wasn't good. But I'm not going to complain that much about eating food on a plane. which are just a marvel. I still can't believe that planes work, you know? Like, I understand how they work, but it still doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Also, one thing that I didn't realize, like, obviously you know planes are big, but sometimes you really don't know the sizes of things. And I was not expecting planes to be that big until I got to the airport and, like, we were getting ready to board, and I was like, holy crap, these things are huge. Which, I guess, again, like, I always sort of knew that planes were big. I didn't know they were that big. Sort of like traffic lights, where because they're so high up, like, you don't really realize that traffic lights are like 4 feet tall, you know? Traffic lights are pretty big, but you don't really realize it because they're way up in the air, right? I know, talking about, like, this scale stuff, one thing that blew my mind when I was a kid is that I don't know about other places, but at least where I lived, the dashes to mark the lanes on highways, the dashes are 10 feet long. They certainly don't seem like they're 10 feet long. But I was watching a video and a dude went out there with a tape measure and said, yeah, 10 feet. Which is wild. I want this to be a little lighter up here. Now I'm kind of liking how this looks so far, but if at any point I don't, it's okay. Because we can just take this plane right out of the sky and just repaint the sky. And put some more clouds where this plane used to be. Also, I know Zell's lurking, but I have to go and refund him some points because he spent a bunch of stuff on the stream yesterday that I couldn't do because it was a video game stream. Hey, good evening, Ulrich. How are you? How are you? Hey, Blue Bubble. Yes, the plane has made an appearance. How are y'all doing today? I guess it's evening for Ulrich. I know it's Sunday morning for us. How's everybody doing? You're okay? Good. But yes, the plane has made an appearance. Right now we're just blocking in kind of shapes and colors and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go in and do some more detail work. I'm going to bring the camera in a little more. Oh, it's evening for you too? Nice. Your knees are numb? Oof. Well, that's that is a little strange, I must say. Hopefully that's nothing too serious, and hopefully they stop being numb soon. All right. So I'm just gonna sit back here, and it would be sad if the plane was burning. Well, I don't think we're going to do a burning plane. The plane is definitely going to be abstracted, though. Because I like throwing in some darker themes into my pieces. I don't know if my original thought was to have the plane, like, kind of in two pieces, but the middle would be abstracted, so that the plane looks like longer than it naturally should be, and it's like, oh, clearly that plane has broken apart. But I don't think I'm gonna go quite that dark with this one. I think I'm just gonna abstract the plane, or I might change my mind. I don't know. We're closer to the end of this painting than the beginning, but we're still not done yet. So there's still some decisions to be made. I was saying though that planes are kind of goofy looking things. They are a marvel, but passenger planes specifically are kind of goofy looking things. But that's all right. We're entering a portal. Yeah, that would be interesting too. That would be interesting too. That's a little more sci-fi than You don't gotta shut up. I mean, y'all are more than welcome to throw ideas out there. That's how, discussions happen. That's how cool things happen, right? So yeah, feel free to throw stuff out or throw out theories and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the portal might be a little too sci-fi with what I want to do with this piece, but it's a good idea. Right? I was just saying that. Yeah, it's amazing that these things can actually stay up in the sky. Because I was talking about my first time on a flight. I went to go visit Jake from the Woods a couple of years ago. And hey, Kidney Gamer, what's happening? Welcome on in. How you doing today? Lurking while working. Fair enough. Well, then I'll throw you the little song. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Thank you for the lurk, my friend. Thank you for coming in and watching while you're working. But I was telling the story how I went to go visit Jake from the Woods, and I didn't realize just how big planes were. Obviously, intellectually, planes are big, but I wasn't prepared for how huge those things are. And yeah, it's amazing. I understand it from a physics perspective, but I still don't understand just from a human perspective, how planes stay in the sky. It just same with ships, how ships stay on the water without just sinking, right? And of course, it's water displacement and buoyancy and all that kind of stuff, and it all makes sense from that perspective, but it's still mind-blowing. Where I live, planes only ever have 2 rows of seats. Yeah, the plane that I took to Britain, I think, was just the 2 rows, if I remember correctly. On the way back, it was one of those big planes because I was in the center aisle. On the way there, I was on the window. Which was that was cool. That was cool. Oh wait, no, was I? I don't know. For as mind-blowing an experience as being on a plane for the first time was, clearly I don't remember too much of it. No, I'm sorry. Both ways, I was in the center aisle. I was closer to the window on the way to Britain. And then on the way back, I think I was in the middle. Alright, let's, I'm about to bring up my reference image again, but, where did just outside of London. Just outside of London. So, we spent a lot of time in London just seeing the sights. We spent a lot of time in Stratford. We took, the train to Stratford. We went to Oxford. It was a cool trip. It was that was a cool trip. That's underselling it quite a bit. That was an amazing trip. I had a lot of fun on that trip. Because, growing up, we didn't travel too much. One, just we didn't have a lot of money to travel. And two, for reasons that I won't get into too much. So England, yeah, England. Sorry, I should have been more specific like that. England. Yes. We were trying to make plans to go to Scotland, because my buddy's wife is from Scotland, but we just didn't have time in the week that I was going, so we put that on the back burner. But yeah, as a kid, like, we didn't travel too much because, like, one, like, we didn't have too much money to, like, go take plane trips and all that kind of stuff, and two, like, because I live in southern Ontario, like in Canada, and I'm from, like, more southern Ontario, like closer to the States, and my dad has a bunch of relatives in the States, but he had a bunch of experiences, racism-wise, in the States, where he didn't really have any desire to go back to the States anytime soon, so we didn't go to the States much. The first time I went to the States, I was in grade 6, and we went down because my basketball team at my school went to go see a Pistons game. So yeah, we didn't travel much. Yeah, we didn't travel much when I was younger. And to this day, like, I've been to a bunch of states. Like, I've been to New York, I've been to, not New York City, but I've been to the state of New York. I've been to Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, but within, and I've been to the UK. I've been to Britain, but within Canada, I've never actually been to another province or territory. Just Ontario. Now, granted, Ontario is huge, but I've never been outside the province. My girlfriend and I almost went to Quebec once, but on that particular trip, we ran out of time, so we couldn't go to Quebec. But that would have been my first experience in another province, and I would have been 29, you know, and I'm 31 now. So, one of these days I'll go to another province. But yeah, that Britain trip was amazing for many, many reasons, and among them is, like, I haven't really traveled much, so just the culture shock and all that kind of stuff, it was just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It was really funny. We went to Stratford, and we went to the theater in Stratford. After which we played a rousing game of mini golf. That was actually really fun. That was a really good mini golf course. But we went to Stratford, and the gentleman... here, I'm going to move the camera in a little more, now that we're working on this plane in more detail. We were talking to a gentleman who worked at the theater, and he was asking about, you know, where we were from, and we were like, well, we're from Ontario in Canada. And he was like, oh, very cool. And he said, is it true that there's a bunch of cities over there with, like, the names of, like, English cities? And we're like, oh yeah, there's a Stratford, Ontario, there's a London, Ontario, a Chatham, Ontario. There's a whole bunch of that, you know. And then it was really kind of funny. He was asking, okay, so there's a trip that you can take in the UK where you start at the very tip of the UK and you travel by train all the way to the bottom, and it takes about 14 hours. Is there anything like that in Ontario? And we were like, man, you can drive for 14 hours in Ontario and you won't even be halfway across the province. Like, 14 hours in Ontario is nothing. Like, Ontario is massive. And his mind was kind of blown at that. And we were like, yeah, dude, like, you drive for ages in Ontario and you don't get anywhere, basically. Like, depending on where you are in the United States, right, 14 hours will take you across multiple state lines, right? In Ontario, nope. And that's in both directions. Well, maybe not one direction. I know it takes, well, no, I think in both directions. Like, whether you're heading out to the prairies or heading to the Maritimes. Like, it takes a very long time to get out of, well, actually, now that I think about it, because from where we are, it's about an 8-hour drive to Ottawa, and then you're in Quebec. So it takes from where we are. It takes about 8 hours to get out of the province into another province. Sorry, not 8 hours. Ottawa's like 4 hours from here. I'm thinking of my original hometown, where it's 8 hours to Ottawa from my original hometown. But yeah, driving out to the prairies, yeah, you're 14 hours is nothing. Like you got a lot of ground to cover. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. And it's funny, when I went over to Britain, the one thing that I felt rang true, because there's like this meme where like 100 years is a long time for North Americans, but 100 miles is a long distance for people in the UK. But what I found to be true was like we went to Stratford and we went to Oxford and we went to like even in London, and just the age of some of these buildings, like I couldn't even fathom that, you know. So for some people, like they can't fathom the vastness. Whereas I mean, it's all about where you grow up, right? But we don't have any buildings that old here, you know. So it's just it's a cool experience, you know, that little culture shock. Sometimes I wish traveling wasn't as, I mean, I understand why it's as expensive as it is, to a certain extent, but sometimes I wish it wasn't as expensive as it is, because I think traveling is really, really important to break down barriers, because like where we're born and the environments we grow up in, of course you're gonna have like implicit biases that you just grow up in. Even if you're in the most liberal of households, you're still going to have some biases that really get washed away from traveling and seeing how other people live and how other people work and how other people think, you know? Like going to university, and that was just in another city, you know, was eye-opening for me in terms of like rethinking how I am as a person, you know, and that was just a university experience. So I think travel is really important for that, and I just wish it was a little bit more accessible for some people than it is, you know. I think I want to recolor this plane with some more blue and red, kind of make it match the clouds. I was trying a thing where I was going to make it more of a yellowish gray to kind of contrast with the clouds, but it's a little bit too much of a contrast. I want it to match the scenery a little bit more, so we'll just change that. I will say that one thing that traveling to the UK taught me is that public transit in the GTA is garbage. I mean, it's certainly not the worst, but like the underground system and the trains that they have running in the UK to make sure people get where they need to go, it was just amazing how well it was run, basically, you know? I was astounded at how well that whole system and how efficient everything was. Then I get back to Canada, and there's like one train that takes you from the airport to Union Station in Toronto, and that train was like under maintenance for a bit, and then it finally started running. To give you sort of a time frame, it's about a 45-minute drive from where I was living at the time, which is a little bit north from where we're living now. About 15-minute drive from here. It takes about 45 minutes to get to the airport with no traffic. Or with traffic from where I was living to the airport. But I didn't drive, I took the train. So that I didn't have to pay for parking. The train when I got back was under maintenance, and then it finally started running, and then I had missed the train to get back, and then the train after that was late because they had to maintain it or something, so they sent another train. Basically, what would have been a 45-minute drive, it took me 3 hours to get from Pearson Airport to where I was living. 3 hours. And I was like, this is ridiculous. We need to fix this, because there's no way that should have taken me that long. So the next time I take a trip anywhere and we have to fly, I'm driving my car. Like, I'm driving to the airport and I'm paying for parking. I typically don't like paying for parking, but it's worth it in that instance. But really, I shouldn't complain, because like, we have a transit system, like we have a train that runs to downtown Toronto, like, and it runs pretty efficiently and it runs pretty well. Just that day, everything was off, you know. So I guess I shouldn't complain that much. It was just it was just annoying. Alright, so we're just continuing our way on this plane. And again, this plane's going to be abstracted, so I'm not going to do like a super amount of detail on it. We're just going to do some nice details on, you know, the areas that aren't going to be abstracted. Get some nice details on those. And then, although, like, I don't know, I might abstract the entire plane. It's a mystery. We'll just see what happens. That's the fun thing about this whole process. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna abstract any of the clouds other than just this immediate area around the plane. But I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend so far. It's been a nice weekend here. Pretty low key, all things considered, but that's all right. Sometimes you need a low key. You need a low key weekend. Oops. Well, we'll just abstract that out, that's fine. Ooh. Now what are those? Because I don't think I've ever heard of those before. But they sound that does sound delicious. You put too much pepper on. Well, that's okay. Now you know next time to, you know, put a little less. But that does sound delicious. Oh, Ulrich, I was gonna... They're quite nice, though. That's good. That's good. I was meaning to ask you, because I forget whether it was for one of these streams or making salmon for the main meal. Nice, nice. Salmon is tasty. I forget whether it was one of my streams or someone else's stream, but you had mentioned that you were like cooking, I think, Christmas dinner for someone, like Christmas dinner for the first time. How did that turn out? I'm pretty sure that was you who said that. Oh, well, that's fair enough. It went really well. Nice, nice. What kind of potatoes were they? Roasted, mashed, sautéed, scalloped. Scalloped is my personal favorite way to have potatoes, but there really is no wrong way to have potatoes. Personally, I'm on a roasted. Nice, nice. Personally, I'm on a tater tot kick right now. I kind of inherited this thing from my dad, where like I'll just kind of like Jones for a certain type of food for a while. It'll just be like kick, and then it'll just stop one day, and it'll be like, okay, I've had enough of that food. Now move on to something else. Exactly. There's no boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew. There's no wrong way to do potatoes. Plus, I mean, like, if push comes to shove, you can just eat them raw. I've never done that. I don't really have a desire to, but you can. Well, Ulrich, if I could speculate, it's probably because you were a kid, and kids do silly, stupid things sometimes. All right, I'm just gonna check this this reference image real quick because I'm changing the brand of the plane. I was basing this off of like not the plane itself, but the airline. I was gonna make it a Lufthansa, but instead I think I'm gonna make it a Qantas. If that's how you pronounce that, I'm not really sure. Oh, okay, so that's all one color. All right, so I'm gonna have to change that. That's okay. That's okay. And that color wraps around all the way down to the bottom of the. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's no problem. Okay. Oh, I forgot to paint the little, what is it called, an aileron, or the little wing off the back of the tail. I forgot to do that. So we have to do that. Yeah. I mean, that's what kids do sometimes. Don't mind me, I'm just going back and forth with this reference image, make sure I don't screw it up. Although if I do screw it up, it's not a big deal. I always just redo it. So this comes all the way down. And I want to make this based on a real airline because I want this to like convey that this is happening in our real world. In the previous painting I neglected to do that because, I mean, there are plenty of moving companies, there are plenty of little convenience stores and all that around. Like, you can kind of fudge those a little bit. But I mean, airlines are a little bit different, you know. There's only so many of them. Which is why I'm opting to do a real airline for this plane. So I'm going to have to get rid of that. But that's alright. Okay. It's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm glad I made the decision to make the colors of this plane match the sky a little more. Oh, also, I said it before, but I'll say it again. I do appreciate everybody who came out to the stream yesterday. It was something a little different. Even though the content was different, hopefully you found me the same. But I do appreciate everybody who came out and watched me play my favorite video game very poorly. Also, like I was saying earlier, one of my buddies on here, Zellshot, redeemed some stuff that I'm gonna have to figure out how to refund him his channel points, if I can even do that anymore. But when he's back, I can also just do what he redeemed when he gets back. But I gotta figure out how to do that. Because he redeemed speed paint, which is I meant to disable that channel reward while I was playing the video games, because it's hard to just drop a video game and do a speed painting. Although I guess technically I could do it. I could do it. But anyway, he redeemed it. And then afterwards he was like, don't do any of these challenges. But it's like, no, he redeemed it, so I'm going to do it. So I'll either find a way to refund him, or if I can't refund him anymore, the next time he's in here, I'll do the speed paint so that he can see it. add a little bit of black, because a little bit of black goes a long way. Yeah, the plane looks much more natural now than when it was like kind of that greenish, yellowish gray color. I'm glad I made that decision. Now we just have to do the underside. Oops. Gonna have to add a little bit of black to that and a little more red to darken it up a bit. Okay, let me check how we're doing for time. Okay. Since it's 20 after, I'm gonna take a tiny little break, just to get some water and all that kind of stuff, and then when we come back, we'll continue with this piece. So everybody, just stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for hanging out. And back to our regularly scheduled programming. Need a little bit more black in that. It's not quite as dark as I want it to be. I'm going to take off this sweater real quick. It's a little warm in here. There, that's better. That's better. This is really fine work on this wing. So I've got one of the finer brushes that I have. Just getting some definition on this wing. And now we're going to lighten up the top of the wing a little bit. Hope you all are having some, I mean, as much as I enjoy winter weather, it does let me down sometimes. I hope you all are enjoying the weather where you are. Last night, I wanted to go for one of my long walks, because I love going for walks. Like, hour and a half, 2-hour walks. I love doing that. I love just, like, exploring, you know, just walking around the city, just finding places I haven't been to before, you know. Or that I've driven past and been like, oh, that looks like an interesting area. Let me go take a walk over there, you know, stuff like that. But I went to go take a walk last night, and I guess for whatever reason, the ground decided to be below freezing temperature, but the air was warmer, so it was just freezing rain. It was freezing rain. Everything was covered in a layer of ice. And I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'm not going for a walk because I don't particularly feel like breaking my neck out here, slipping on some ice. So I just came back in. So that was a little bit disappointing. Because I was looking forward to it because it had been a while since I had done one of those walks, you know? But, oh well. Next time. Hopefully it won't be freezing rain next time. Ooh, I like that tone. Let's try and continue it. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. And then as we get out toward the end of the wing, we'll darken it up a bit. Just because if we don't darken it up, it's going to be the same color as the sky. And that's not exactly what we want. make this underside of the wing really dark out here to follow the shadow. Also, I know I say this a lot, but I do appreciate y'all coming out and watching. And if you ever get tired of me saying that, well, that's too bad, because I'm going to keep saying it. I do truly appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to come and watch me mess around on a canvas for a little bit. Oh, you made too much food. Oof. Well, hey, feel free to send some over here. I mean, the shipping charges will probably be ridiculous, and the food probably won't be good by the time it gets here. But, hey, so this is our plane so far. It's coming together. It's coming together. Yeah. I love walking. It's a nice way to see the sights. Plus, I like to people watch, right? And I like to go into neighborhoods and see like what the neighborhoods are like and all that kind of stuff. And I just plug in my favorite music, or a podcast or two, or many, depending on the length of the walk and the length of the podcast. But I just find them so relaxing. Plus, I love walking in the winter up here because no one else is outside, especially when I go for walks at night. It's nice. But yeah, I love going for walks. It's I would encourage anybody to get back into the habit of taking walks. Like, honestly, if I'm stuck somewhere, like if I'm at the mechanics and it's gonna be a while, like I'll just go for a walk. Just be like, all right, y'all call me when you're done. I'll just be out here checking out the neighborhood. If we're out at someone's house to have dinner and dinner's taking a little longer, be like, all right, well, let's go for a walk then. Till it's done. Plus, I use walks a lot to gather images for my references. I'll just grab my phone, snap a few pictures here and there of stuff that looks intriguing, and be like, all right, well, that'll be an element to a drawing or a painting later on. So walking is also a practical resource for me. Okay, let's get the color right on the back of this plane so that it matches the front of the plane. Let's do that. Plus, it's nice because walking is good for you. We'll add a little black to that to darken up the bottom. Give us a little shadow. Okay, well, I'm going to have to darken it up more than that. Come on, TJ. Get it together. Nice. Nice. Camping along the way sounds really cool. I haven't done any of those types of walks, unless we're like already camping. Um, it's more so just me walking around the city. But that does sound fun. I find that I genuinely enjoy camping. Like, I really do enjoy camping. I like it a lot. But there always reaches a certain point, and it's not just camping, it's like if I'm taking a trip somewhere, right? It always reaches a certain point where I go, alright, I'm ready for my own bed again. Yeah. Yeah. Like a week-long camping trip, 2 weeks, even up to a month, like if we're taking a trip somewhere. Like, that I like. But there's some people who travel for like 6 months, a year, or like, you know, and that, like, that's too long for me. I'll miss my bed too much. Yep. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Also, I decided what I'm going to do, actually. So I'm not going to have the plane blowing up. It is going to be abstracted. But I am going to add a little something, but I'm going to keep that a secret for next time. Because I don't think we're going to get to it today. But I'm just going to take a step back again. Just kind of look how we're doing. Again, I'm very, very glad that I decided to change the color of the plane from the original sort of yellowish gray that we were doing, because I wanted to introduce some contrast, but I like this a lot better. It fits within the plane of the space a lot better than the green and gray was. Oh, well, thank you, Ulrich. I appreciate that. This is new. I don't usually use this much red well, I mean, there was a piece we did a couple of weeks ago that was primarily red and black, but doing it with a red and blue and purple, you know, this was really a fun experiment for me, because I've mentioned before, like, with all the clouds and everything, the only colors that were used were red, blue, like cadmium red hue, cerulean blue, and white. I didn't use any black. I didn't use any yellow, because those are the only 5 colors that I used. So I restricted myself to 3, and I think it turned out really, really well. Yeah, it's like a brand new technique of doing clouds for me, that I borrowed from another artist on Instagram. Which, when I'm done taking a look at this, I'll link her stuff again, because it is amazing. And I kind of like borrowed her technique for doing clouds for this piece. Yeah, it was all a giant experiment. Yes, this is all acrylic paint. Okay, so let me grab my brush that I just washed off. And then let me come over here. I'm just going to put in the chat. Oh, I forgot to take this. I just washed this shirt and I just realized that, like, I got some white paint on it and I got most of it off, but I forgot to put rubbing alcohol on it to get the tiny little stain off. Also, I really need a haircut. I should do that today or tomorrow. But let me get this artist's Instagram up here. She does absolutely lovely work, stunning work, and like I said, I borrowed the technique that she uses for clouds, for these clouds, and because I had never done that technique for these clouds before, and I think it turned out spectacularly. It's not completely her tech, like I threw some of my own stuff in there too, obviously, but yeah, I really dig her work. So go take a look at her stuff. Oh, you need a haircut too? Okay, let me check out. Oh, that's a shame. I wonder if she has a website. Let me see. Because I'll just link the website, because I'm sure the website won't make you... Ah, she does. Let me put her website to get around that pesky little... There we go. Okay, so we're gonna head back over here and do some more of this. Yeah, she does absolutely amazing work. I don't remember how it is that I found her work on Instagram, but I'm glad that I did. Whether it was the algorithm that just kind of suggested it, or whether I found it organically, I don't know, but yeah. I really dig her stuff. I believe so. I believe they're in inches. We're just working on this this engine here. that to be a little darker. Oh, yeah, you can post links. That's fine. That's fine. I trust you all. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'm very glad that you did post a link because I was worried that the links wouldn't work, but this one worked. So, is there effects she used for this painting? You know, that's a very good question. I actually don't know if what she did here has a name other than just like really, really soft blending. Oh, the texture at the top, on top of everything. You know what? To be honest, that probably does have a name, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll have to look that up. Actually, let me look it up real quick right now, actually. Name. Oh, yes. What am I doing? No, I found it. It's the technique of adding texture to painting, whether it's like you add the texture before or after, is called impasto. I should have known that. This is one of those things where like I knew the name, but because obviously we talked about impasto when I was in school, but it completely exited my mind, I guess, when I was done school, and then just seeing it again, it's like, oh yes, of course, impasto. That's what it's called. But yeah, that's the technique, impasto. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, yeah. It's a cool technique. I like it. Texture is one of those things where I really like it when other people have a lot of texture in their paintings. For my own paintings, I don't quite like it as much. But I really, really dig it when other people do it. We're gonna have to add some more detail to these engines. We'll get a fair amount of it done today, but I think next time I have to do some more to it, which is perfectly fine. Well, don't do that. I would advise against that. Bankruptcy isn't too fun from what I've heard. I do know what you mean though. I probably could as well. Okay. So, I'm really... Oh, you know what? Before we finish up today, I do want to do the one thing that I said I was going to do and then completely forgot. Which was to, at the very least, just add the line for the little tail wing here. Let me look at the reference image real quick. Excuse my shoulder. Yeah, so it's like halfway through the wing, or halfway through the rear. But you know, it's like important to have this in here. It's a little hard for planes to fly without it. There. Very rudimentary, it's just like a black line, but at the very least, it's in there now. Okay. Don't you worry. We will be adding the chemtrails next time. It's very important that we add those in. But yeah, so that's our plane. Let's see if I can bring this closer so you can take a little bit of a closer look. Again, just sort of blocking in colors. There's a little blip here that I got to take out, or I'll just abstract over it. It's fine. But yeah, that's our plane. And we'll do some more detail work on this next time. But I'll put this back, and then I'll back the camera out so you get a wider view of the piece as a whole. So that's our... that is our painting so far. So I'm pretty pleased with this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the direction this is going. There's a few things that I still have to change in the clouds, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how this is turning out. Well, thank you. Don't worry, I'm also looking forward to what I'm doing with it. But yeah, it's coming together. We're almost done. Like once we get the details done on the plane, abstraction is next, and then after that, I think we'll be pretty close to being done. So yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, that sounds very braggadocious. So, but I mean, like, I'm pleased with the progression of this. All right. So, with that, that's all I really want to do on it today, because the detail on this plane is gonna, like, I'm really gonna have to work some more stuff in there. Today we're gonna do something a little different with the raid. Well, thank you, Ulrich. I appreciate that. We're going to do something a little different. Usually when I do an art stream, I like to, raid other artists. But I just noticed that my buddy Jake from the Woods is on. And I'm going to throw a raid his way. Now, he's doing something a little different. He's, I believe, yeah, he's playing Pokemon right now. So if that's not your bag, that's perfectly fine. But you know, I thought I just throw a raid his way, just to say hello, because he's a cool dude. Uh, he's very chill, like me. He gets more animated than I do, but in a good way. He's his channel's really nice, and his in depth knowledge of Pokemon is just off the charts. Like I marvel at it. Uh, so again, if Pokemon isn't your thing, that's perfectly fine. But we're just gonna go over and say hello. Give him a shout out, and yeah, just see what he's up to. So let me throw this in here, and we will. Yeah, no problem, Ulrich. Thank you for coming out, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon. The next stream that I do is actually going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow from 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be playing some more Super Mario Brothers 3. The next art stream is going to be on Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And for international folks, that's UTC 5. So that'll be the time that it's at. But yeah, I appreciate you all coming out. Next time, we might actually get to the abstraction of this plane, and we might actually finish the painting. So stay tuned for that. That'll be on Tuesday. Again, gaming stream is going to be tomorrow, 7 till 9 p.m. Art stream on Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your evening, morning, wherever you happen to be. And we will catch you in the next one. So take it easy, everybody.
This is interesting. But it fails because I didn't do that thing.